FatDag is a Weight Watchers leader in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, the views and opinions expressed during this podcast are his own. They do not represent the views of Weight Watchers. And now, here's your host and wingman, FatDag.
I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman because I believe in you. Well, hello, welcome to episode 158. I want to always reiterate that when I open the show and I say, I believe in you, sure, it's part of the opening sentence. Sure, it's something I say every time I open the show, but it's specifically put in there so that you understand that I actually believe in you. That's how this whole thing works, is that you need to believe in yourself as you start walking this journey. But I understand that as we walk this journey, sometimes it's difficult to believe in ourselves. So what I'm telling you is that if you're listening to the show, I believe you can do this. Hands down, no doubt in my mind, if you want to do this, if you're continuing to do this, you can do it. I believe you can do it. So I say that at the opening of every show to remind you that I will believe in you for as long as you continue to tune in, as long as you continue to stay focused. I believe you can do it. At some point during this journey, you will believe it as well. So keep that in mind. We're always, as we do the show live. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and live on Instagram. You can check the show out, follow, go to fatdag.com, click on the event tab. It'll tell you when the next show is as I update that calendar. Twitter, following WhysAdvice, will give you the best notification as to when and where the next show will be, so keep an eye on that. And then, of course, you can always hear the show all over the web. We're on iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and, of course, the WhysAdvice app. Thank you all for being here. It's truly an honor to walk this journey with you. And I want to give a huge shout out to all of the wingmen who've stepped up and become patrons through the Patron website. What a tremendous support that is, and I really do appreciate that tremendously. So thank you for that. Teresa writes in from Puyallup and says, "Hi, Mike. I started following you when I first got on Connect in July. I started listening to your podcast a few months ago. I saw that you believed in me, but I didn't believe in myself. I, too, have joined Weight Watchers multiple times, 3 to be exact. I have hit 10% all 3 times, but I have not yet hit goal. I am now celebrating 30 pounds gone this week. For some reason, this milestone is where I now can say, I can do this. I guess this is the point that it's different for everyone. My biggest struggle is attendance. I tried setting an attendance goal in November, but I abandoned it as the Bermuda Triangle of eating, as my Weight Watcher leader calls it, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's happened. I think December happened. Dark, dingy, cold, rainy. I'm a summertime girl, and when I started in July, everything was about normal. Stand-up paddling, boarding, walking, kayaking, etc. But then winter started, and I don't do winter. New Year's Day dawned cold Pacific Northwest sunshine, and I took a walk with my Weight Watchers leaders group. I walked 3.3 miles next to the Puget Sound. It was breathtaking. This walk renewed me, my soul, and my focus on attendance. As the New Year's has progressed, I am working on walking when and where I can. I have a goal of 23 out of 31 days in January. Looking good at getting to that goal. Thank you for the inspiration and the motivation you give to your podcast. This morning, as I drove to work, I listened to episode 156. My takeaway was with the very last letter: focus, hard work, and discipline will get you to goal. You said those three things about 5 different ways, but it's oh so true. Teresa. Teresa, let's start with the obvious. Congratulations on 30 pounds down. What an amazing accomplishment. You don't just lose 30 pounds by accident. You don't wake up one morning, hop on the scale and go, oh my goodness, I'm down 30 pounds. In order to lose 30 pounds, you had to know what you were doing. You had to follow some sort of plan. You had to stay accountable. At some point, you had to say no to something that you really wanted. At some point, you had to do a little more exercise than you probably wanted to do. You had to do things different in your life, or else you would not be down 30 pounds. You absolutely can do this. No question in my mind. Now, the fact that you've hit 10% all 3 times, what that tells me is, again, you, more than most people who are listening, you actually can do this. If you've hit 10% 3 different times in 3 different journeys, you clearly have the tools to do this. You clearly know how to use the tools. You clearly have the amount of discipline it takes to get to goal. What's happening is you get to that 10% and you're hitting what we consider, what I call the complacency trap. You feel good, your clothes fit good, and so you stop remembering why you joined in the first place. Most of the time when we join and we start this journey, it's because the last pair of pants we own are finally too tight, and instead of buying a new pair, we're finally willing to do something about it. And what happens is we lose that quick 10%, and all of a sudden that pair of pants fits, and maybe 1 or 2 other ones in the closet fit. So we instantly go, thank goodness I'm back to a much better place. When the reality is that's still not the size we want to be in for life. It just happens to be a size where it finally is comfortable to wear it. And complacency at that point sets in, and you say, I got this. And so you then know that, you can take a day or two and not be perfect on the plan, and those clothes still kind of fit. And then you kind of do it on your own, and the next thing you know, you're rejoining at a much higher start weight. That's how this works the wrong way for so many people. But the cool thing about it is if you've hit 10%, you absolutely can hit goal. No question about it. You absolutely can hit goal. You've continued to push past that. You're down 30 pounds. You can do this. Now, when you talk about your biggest struggle being attendance, that is where your mind has to stay focused, and you have to really stay disciplined, dialed in to what it is you want to do. I did a post today on Connect about attendance, and a lot of you are going to hear this show, and it may be too late to find it. But in essence, what I say by attendance is you would be better off going to the gym, walking in, waving to the receptionist, and walking right back out every day for a month than you would be to go one day so hard and so at it that you can't go back for the rest of the month. At least if you walked in and you waved to the receptionist and you turned around and left, at least at that point, you become familiar. You start understanding the routine. You start learning when the hours are. And then you start easily easing into doing just a little bit more and a little bit more. When it comes to attendance in your meeting, you got to put it in your calendar, and you got to say, I go to my meeting every Tuesday. I go to my meeting every Thursday, or whatever day you pick. And if you prioritize that in your calendar, you go no matter what. And so you set a goal of, I'm going to go to a meeting every day for a year. I'm just going to see what happens at that point. That's what you got to work on. When it comes to this Bermuda Triangle of eating, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, I get it. I get the concept behind it, but it's 3, at the most 6 days for 3 months. There's nothing you can eat on Christmas Day that's going to put 30 pounds back on you. Nothing. But what happens is you reignite some of those addictions, you reflare up some of those triggers, and then you get in this downward spiral. So at that point, you need to have a recovery plan. You need to get it done. You need to not lean on the, it's dark, it's dingy. Change your complete frame of reference. I want you to celebrate the fact that you're down 30 pounds. I want you to celebrate how you did that. I want you to wake up knowing that you can do everything you want to do. Everything. I don't care if it's winter. I don't care if it's summer. You go out and you just do it. You absolutely can do it. You have the focus. You have the ability to do the hard work. You have the discipline. or else you wouldn't be 30 pounds down. Is now the time to give up? Is now the time to settle in, or is now the time to push forward? Keep doing everything you're doing, completely change your habits, completely change your life, and get yourself to goal. That's all there is to it, Teresa. You got it. I believe you can do it, and I'm honored to walk with you as we figure it out. Next up, Rachel writes in, says, "Hi, Mike. My name is Rachel. My Connect user ID is RACHCAN95, and I'm 22 years old. I've been overweight a good majority of my life. However, I did not gain most of my weight until high school and college. I'm now morbidly obese and started Weight Watchers on November 6, 2017, at my highest weight of 388 pounds. I've joined Weight Watchers 3 or 4 times since high school, but each time I did not start with the correct mindset. I was losing weight for everyone around me that wanted me to, but not for me. Every time I started in that mindset, I would lose 5 to 10 pounds. Then I'd quit following the program. I would not track. I would continue to overeat. I would not change my mindset nor my habits. Each time I would quit and I would gain back what I lost, plus some more. In November 2017, something clicked. I decided to rejoin, but this time I decided that I was going to do this for me, and I began with a very specific reason in mind. I want my health back. In October 2017, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, and it can affect my fertility. It increases my risk of other health concerns such as diabetes, among others. Losing weight will not cure my PCOS, but it will help to improve the symptoms that I'm having and lower my risk of developing further health issues. Losing weight will help me to be able to reduce the medications that I'm currently on, if not, get off them completely. I believe very strongly that I can do this. I will not let my diagnosis define me, and I will not let it discourage me. I made a mini goal when I started. I wanted to lose 20 pounds by my next appointment with my OBGYN, which is January 10th. At my weigh-in yesterday, I met that goal. I have lost 21.6 pounds. I cannot wait to see the look on his face when I step on that scale, and I'm 21.6 pounds lighter than I was in October. Thanks, Mike, for your service to our country and to our Connect community. You will never know how much of an inspiration that you have been in my weight loss journey. I listen to the WhysAdvice podcast on a daily basis since finding it last week. Hearing other people's journeys has helped me to realize that I can do this if I remain focused and determined to meet my goals. I hope you have a good day, and I wish you good focus. Sincerely, Rachel. Rachel, congratulations on completely changing your life, 21.6 pounds. Walking into that doctor's office, I can imagine the amount of pride you feel, and I can't wait to hear the follow-up from that meeting, because you're absolutely right. I believe very strongly that you can do this. You, again, just like we talked about in the opening email to the show, 21.6 pounds didn't happen by accident. It happened because you got focused. You knew exactly why you want to do this. You want your health back. What does that mean, though? And so in your scenario, you've gone on and you've defined it a little further than just the generic term of I want my health back, because let's face it, there aren't too many people on the planet who don't want to be healthy. Right? So by simply saying I want to be healthy is not exactly clear enough. It's certainly good enough, but it's not clear enough. You've gone on to define it. And what I can tell you from the hundreds of emails that we've gotten on the show, you can completely change your life. Now, certainly I'm not a doctor, right? I've never even played one on TV, but what I can tell you is obesity causes so many other diseases that are all essentially preventable. And many of them you can reverse by simply losing the weight. So many emails, people reduce their A1C count. They come off blood pressure medicine. They reduce their cholesterol. So many things are just reversible if you focus on your health and you take care of you. You're absolutely right. When you started doing this the first few times, because you were losing weight for everybody around you except for you, it doesn't work that way. You can only satisfy someone else on this program for so long. And then you have to understand that you're doing it for you, and you completely then take control of the journey, and you understand that you are responsible for your success. 100%. You are the only one who is responsible. You're the only one that can control it. You're the only one that can do it. By listening, by tapping into a focus group, to the Wise Wingman Facebook group, to the folks on Connect, by using all of that inspiration, all that you're able to do is see that other people are doing what you're trying to do. That gives you a little bit of belief that it can be done. You take the next step and you take the action, which is why you're down 21.6 pounds. You keep going. Rachel, at 22 years old, what I can tell you as a 44-year-old person, that it's a long way from 22 to 42. And I lived my 22 to 42 years overweight. I didn't like a single minute of it. You have the opportunity now to prevent that. What I went through, what I lived through for 20-some years, you have the opportunity right now to make sure that does not happen to you. You're on the right track. You're taking care of it. You have the right mindset. Go do it. You're absolutely right. And hearing other people's journey has helped you realize that you can do it if you remain focused and determined to reach your goals. And that is what I want you to do. It's absolutely priceless to see you walk into the doctor's office and taking care of your health. Keep up the amazing work. Shannon writes in and says, wow, FatDag, I just listened to episode 159, I think, and it was fantastic. I took notes so I can share some of your fabulous words with my Weight Watcher meetings. I feel super energized after listening. I feel so full of gratitude to you, to Weight Watchers, to myself, for seeing this thing to fulfillment. Living life at goal and sharing this program with others is absolutely one of the most rewarding things I have ever had the opportunity to do. There is nothing like the feeling of being at goal and helping others reach their goals. Thanks for all your words of wisdom. In a recent post on the WhysWingman.com Facebook group, I told about my successful visit to my doctor this past week. Amazing changes in my blood work and complete reversal of pre-hypertension, pre-diabetes, and hypercholesterol. The ability to do things I never dreamed of, cardio fitness level well above the average woman of 55, wearing sizes I never dreamed I would ever wear again. I am the happiest with myself that I have been in over 20 years. I helped a Weight Watcher member a week or so ago as she checked into a meeting after Christmas. She had done great with her weight through the holidays and was proud to tell me she was 89 years old. 89 years old at her ideal weight, walks 3 miles a day, drives herself to the meeting. I said, well, you are my inspiration. When I started this journey over again, January 2016, I said I wanted to ensure longevity, that I wanted to one day be a little old lady with white hair and tennis shoes walking through my neighborhood every day. Well, I was looking into the eyes of what I want to be one day. I was so proud of her and it touched me. I wish that for everyone to visualize yourself as you want to be and go after it. I share your podcast with my members often and will continue to do so as long as you continue to provide them. Thanks, not FatDag, Shannon. Shannon, what a cool story. Your opening paragraph gave me chills as I was reading it because it is something that as I talk with other leaders, and of course being a leader, I experienced everything that you said. Getting to goal was the most amazing thing I've ever done in my life. Being 5 pounds away from goal and being at goal is not a 5-pound weight loss. It is a completely new life. That is what you need to do. You need to understand that getting to goal, hopping on the scale at the point where you say, I don't want to lose any more weight, there is absolutely nothing like it in the world. You've confirmed that in your email, Shannon. You've absolutely said you feel so full of gratitude. I get that. It's the most rewarding thing that you've ever had the opportunity to do. I get that. There's nothing like the feeling of being at goal and helping others reach their goal. Completely agree. That's what drives this show. That's what every single leader that I've met feels. We're there because we want you to succeed. And not only do we want you to succeed, we believe that you can do it. There isn't a single one of us that enjoys driving to the meeting to watch you not do well. We enjoy driving to that meeting and popping into that meeting because you say, we watch what you do, we watch how you win, and you go after it. And when somebody reaches goal in a meeting, and someone reaches a 5-pound loss or a 10-pound loss or a 150-pound loss, as a leader, I can tell you it is the most amazing, rewarding feeling to hand that charm over to someone and say, you did it. There are really not enough words to describe it, but you did a good job, Shannon, trying to sum it up. So absolutely, thank you for that. Now, that it doesn't stop there. You go on to say that you've completely changed your medical diagnosis and reducing your hypertension, your diabetes. You're right. A lot of us, we just assume when you get those diagnosis that you're done. When in the reality is that we have the opportunity to take our health back in a lot of ways. You can do this. And you have to look into the eyes of someone else. You have to see somebody else succeeding. And you have to see that success. You have to want that success. And you have to believe that you can have that same level of success. You can absolutely do it if you're listening. Every single person listening right now can simply do it. Shannon did it. I did it. So many people have done this. It's not rare in that sense. It's absolutely doable. And what Shannon's done, she's gone one step further and says, I'm going to visualize what I want to look like. And there are people looking up to you right now, Shannon, saying, you're what I want to look like. You are the inspiration. At 55 years old, you are living the best life you've ever dreamed possible. You're an inspiration for so many. And I cannot thank you enough for writing in and giving me an opportunity to talk about the experience of being a leader, because it's incredible. Thank you for that. I absolutely agree. I'm proud of you for completely changing your life. I'm proud of you for reaching back and changing other people's lives. And I'm super proud of you for writing in to let everybody know it's doable. It's that simple. It's absolutely doable. Out of Port St. Lucie, Florida, Bridget writes in and says, Dear FatDag, today I finally hit my 10%. If I can get to 10%, I can get the goal right. It has taken me just shy of 11 months to lose 23.4 pounds. Could I have done better? Absolutely. Do I regret my journey? Absolutely not. I'm a lifelong Weight Watcher, not to be confused with lifetime, joining and quitting for literally 27 years and never making it to goal. Although in my 20s I was a normal weight, but my brain told me differently. I might have had 5 to 10 pounds to lose. My weight truly became an issue in my 30s. Now with my 45th birthday looming in the background, I need to get to goal once and for all. I joined Weight Watchers for the umpteenth time at my highest weight ever on February 20th, 2017, and I'm not quitting until I get to lifetime. Let's rename the Turtle Club, because I know you dislike that name, to the Persistent Club. I have not been consistent on my journey, but I most definitely have been persistent. I have no idea how I found your podcast, but I'm sure glad that I did. I can relate to something in each and every podcast. I listen to you while I do my 6-mile morning walk. I have laughed. I have cried. I even shouted out loud a few times. You have changed my mindset. My head is finally in the Weight Watchers game. That was the piece that was missing for all these years. I will be emailing you again when I get to lifetime. You have my word. Thank you for your service. Thank you to you and your family for sharing your precious time with us, Bridget. Bridget, couple things. Congratulations. If you've hit 10%, you absolutely can hit goal. No question in my mind. Could you have done better? You say absolutely. I say no. You could not have done better. You hit 10%. That's an amazing accomplishment, and I don't care how long it took you. What I care about is you stayed focused on the journey. You stayed mindfully in it. I'm glad to see that you have no regrets on it, but I don't want you to even think for a second that you could have done better. You're exactly where you need to be in this journey. You can call it the Turtle Club. You can call it the Persistent Club. I do, as you've listened to previous episodes, you've heard me say that the Turtle Club is not necessarily a term I'm fond of, because I want you to understand that this is a lifelong journey, and I don't want you to purposely have a name for the ability to go slow on the journey. I do like the persistent term, but really what I want is I just want you to stay mindful. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how quick it takes. If you're absolutely in it, if you every meal you're asking yourself, does this align with my goal or does this compete with my goal? And you're making a conscious decision and you're choosing wisely most of the time, that's all I care about. It's the one thing we have control over in this journey. You have absolute control over what you eat. You have no control over how the scale reacts to that. So keep doing what you're doing. Now, you said you're not quitting until you get the lifetime, and I assure you, if you quit then, we'll be talking to you again. You've demonstrated a thing, and I think it's just a play on words. I think you just reworded it the way that probably just didn't word it correctly. But quitting when you get the lifetime is certainly not the answer. When you get the lifetime, it's a whole different journey. You still need to be mindful. You still need to be checked in, because that complacency is even harder to resist when you get to the point where you actually feel good every single day. It's absolutely easy at that point to reverse, and that's the time when you need the support even more. I'm a firm believer that the lifetime members probably need more TLC in this journey than the week-to-week members, from the standpoint of, all the accolades of losing the weight go away when you get to lifetime. You just blend in. No one asked you about your weight loss journey 2 years after you've done it. So that's where the support needs to kick in. That's part of what this podcast will continue to provide to you as well. So I don't believe you're ever going to quit. It's certainly not going to happen. So keep doing what you're doing. You're down 23.4 pounds. You're down 10%. You've proven that you have the tools to get it done. You've done it. For the umpteenth time, you've joined Weight Watchers, but this is the last time. In your own words, you said this time was at the highest weight ever. And I can tell you that if you give up on the program, if you quit, you will see those numbers again, because this is something we have to manage for the rest of our lives. The absolute amazing news is you've proven you can manage it. You've found a community of people who are managing it. So you are in the best place to get this done. Continue to walk your 6-mile morning walk. Absolutely laugh, cry, and shout, because your mindset has changed. And that mindset puts your head in the game, and you will get it done. Bridget, when you get it done, we are going to scream together. We are going to laugh together. We are going to cry together. And we're going to absolutely share it. We're going to tell every single person who will listen how amazing this feels. There is no feeling on the planet like being at goal. There's nothing like it. It's something you cannot describe. It's something you just have to live it. The absolute cool thing is everyone listening can feel it. You can get there. I opened the show telling you I believed that you can do it. I'm going to close the show saying the exact same thing. I believe you can do this. You absolutely can do this. How bad do you want it? Here we are. We're 8 days into the new year, 9 days into the new year, 10 days into the new year, whatever it is. We're just now starting 2018. Is 2018 the year that you're going to completely change your life? I know it is. I know you can do it. And when you do, we're going to reach out. We're going to celebrate. I want you at that point, I want you to write into FatDag.com, click on the WhysAdvice podcast tab. You can fill out the form, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. As you know, if you've heard, 100% of this show is your input. Continue to send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations, your stories, your whys, because other people need to hear that what they're going through is absolutely normal. But one thing that's even more important than that is I hear so many people, see so many people who write in, and just the sheer fact of them writing in brings them some clarity. That clarity gives you a why, it gives you a focus, and that is what gets you to goal. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Thank you for listening to the WhysAdvice podcast. Did you know for as little as $1 a month, you can take the next step as a wingman and support the show? Visit FatDag.com, click on Become a Patron today.